So we are good to go. Good morning and welcome to all the participants. Let me kind of, very quickly give you all a background as to what I believe that I will be talking to you all about. See, everybody believes and thinks that sales, marketing is applied common sense. There are people who believe and think that, yes, this is an art to be mastered. Many people think that marketing and sales is all about relationships. A lot of people believe that it is about technology, products, specification, delivery, discount. What I would like to tell you all is it is all of this, whatever you people are doing, and it is even more than all of them put together as a normal sum or an addition. In some cases, it can become multiplication, which is good, which is where we get those bonus or bumper orders. But many times it can also become division or it can become subtraction, where when we are on the course and when we think that we are going to be getting orders or when we think that we are making customers for life, we are disappointed. So I am going to not tell you anything that you all don't know. Many of you all instinctively know what sales is and what marketing is and what service is. I am only going to help you all look at it from a different perspective and tell you all and show you all how there is science to marketing. There is a lot of theory behind marketing, but as the case with anything else, only theory doesn't help. So you must know the theory, and it is very, very important to apply that theory in a practical way in day-to-day situations. And this application of the theory can be something that needs to be fine-tuned, adjusted, depending upon the need and the situation. And every sales situation, while many are similar, but there will be something which is different from situation to situation, product to product, or the same product to the same customer, or different products to the same customer. So every time there is something subtly different, and the ability to understand and internalize that difference is what is fine-tuning sales. And this process of fine-tuning, which we call optimizing, never ends. And this is where, with experience, every time you do something, you see something new, you can apply the same old theoretical principles and foundation in a subtly different way. And the intricacies and the mixture of all this is what I will be talking to you about. Why are we here? Yes, look at it. Isn't it a marvel that, suddenly something that we never thought could happen, or something that we never thought that we could see, a pandemic, a virus that we cannot even see, was able to shut down perhaps almost every country in the world. And this was something that just happened. While we can sit back and say, look, we don't have control, or this whole thing happened, let's look at it from the other perspective. Across the world, people adapted. People found out new ways of doing business, new ways of connecting. Suddenly there was a huge push in how, of course, there was disruption, there was downward trend, there was loss of jobs, all that happened. But again, it could not be kept that way, and slowly but surely things and human endeavor found a way, a methodology and a purpose, and we're all back. Don't you believe that this is something wonderful that is happening right now as we speak on this platform? So many people sitting perhaps in their offices, perhaps in their homes, are able to connect, learn, understand, and exchange data, information, knowledge across a platform which was always there. Again, this is not something that this was not there, but we were not using, or we were not using as much as we wanted to, or we did not adapt it so much simply because there was no need. And the minute there is a need, we begin to adapt it. Similar is the situation with the people on the field, and especially to the marketing people. All of you here, I want you all to understand one thing very, 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 very important. Marketing people, if you look at an organization like a car, it is very, very important that somebody should drive, and somebody should know where the brake pedal is, somebody should know where the accelerator is. But it is marketing that connects with the external world and ensures that the purpose of the organization, which is to produce a product and market for the market, produce a product and a service for the market, is given to the market and helps move the cycle of business, the wheel of business, rotate the wheel. And where do marketing people really work? If it was a one-to-one program, I would have asked several of these questions and wanted the participation so that you people could answer. Have you all noticed that marketing and service are the only people whose offices and their working arena and area is always in front and in the middle of a customer? You look at any other profession, whether it's design, whether it is manufacture, whether it is machining, whether it's components, they all work within their own boundaries, in their own environment, among their own people who have a common purpose. Whereas marketing and service and sales are the only people who are always working in an environment that are very rarely surrounded by their people. If at all for some discussion, maybe you will take a design team, maybe you will take your project people or service people or whatever. But largely, you are always working in an environment where there are more and more customers. So there is uncertainty, there is volatility. VUCA, I don't want to go into the details of VUCA. All of you all know. It is, volatile, uncertain, it is changing, and it is absolutely, chaotic. And very, very important, there is a change in the market which is moving from sellers to buyers. We'll deal with all of this in the subsequent slides that when we come into. Buzzwords: market-oriented manufacturing, market-driven companies are the order of the days. That means whatever you need to do inside your factory, whether it's manufacturing of the product, the lathe or the machining center or the tool or the rotary table or whatever it is, you may have your own factor of safeties, you may have the best specifications, you may use the best material. But if it's not priced properly, or if the customer cannot use it, or if the specification does not meet the customer's need, then it really is of no use. It may be a great product, but that's only within your own company and within your own design people, and the wheel that moves it into economic pursuit and returns to the company really doesn't happen. Last but not the least, a global village and international players. What's happened? I remember when we all started our careers, what happened in Bangalore or what happened in India or what happened in Rajkot largely was limited within geographical boundaries of that place. But today that's not the case. Everybody is aware of what's happening in Taiwan, what's happening in China, what's happening in Europe. And those people are also here setting up offices, sales, service, machines, bringing down cost, manufacturing in India. So the world has become smaller, players have become international, and it is in today's situation with all this pressure that is on us that it becomes extremely, extremely important that this optimization process that I was talking to you of learning and applying theory to every situation becomes more and more important, because The better you are able to optimize, the lower would be the cost, the higher would be the results. And as salespeople, we carry with us not only the responsibility of selling our goods and services, but to ensure that our respective companies are profitable and our customers are happy. Because if we are not profitable, we cannot support the customer. And if the customer is not happy, he's not going to pay us. So we are caught in that vicious cycle with all these pressures that are getting harder and harder with every passing day. So that's why we are here. And the objective of this whole course is how do we learn the theory and how do we optimize it a little further? I would specifically try to put this here, all of us who are in engineering sales, whether it is machine tools, whether it is capital equipment, whether it is cutting tools, we believe that marketing means you have the best product and the best product always wins. Technology, greatest technology. We have the latest. Technology alone attracts customer and our product is the best. You will not get anything else. हाँ, हमारा CNC लेथ जैसा कोई लेथ ही नहीं है. हम LMW से better. I am just using names so that you will understand. ज्योति नहीं माइक्रोमैटिक साम बेहतर है, माइक्रोमैटिक ज्योति साम बेहतर है. Yes, it is interesting, it is important, customer सुनता है थोड़ी बहुत, but that if you don't solve a problem, you cannot sell your product. And it is extremely important that we look at it as a solution provider, whatever it is. It could be a standard machine. When I say solution, I am not saying tooling it up and solving. Ultimately, we should understand what the customer wants. If the customer wants a machine yesterday, then he is willing to pay 50,000 rupees more, because for him the need is delivery more than anything else, because any CNC lathe or any machining center can largely do what he wants. If the customer is worried about service, then he will wait, or he will give 10,000 rupees more or 1 lakh rupees more. It all depends on what kind of brand, what to do, what not to do, because his problem is about fear, worry, insurance, satisfaction, not about the product. And just like what we spoke in the earlier slides, this confusion between marketing and selling and relationship, mujhe wo janta hai, I know him very well, he will help me, he's not helping me, I helped him, he did not help me back. See, yes, relationship is very, very important. We must help, we must do, and we must expect him to help. But ultimately, it comes back to the optimization of all of this and having a clear understanding of where the value is, where the problem is. And it is not just relationship by itself. It's not just the product by itself. It's not that the technology by itself, but it is a comprehensive package of all of these things together that really ultimately helps and wants a customer to buy or not buy a thing. So you already know this, and I presume that many of you all are already making use of this. But again, like I said in the first part of what we discussed in the morning, I would like to put it into some kind of a structured format. A successful salesperson, first and foremost, know their business. Now, what is their business? When we join companies, whatever the company may be, lot of the training that are given to salespeople is about product knowledge. They are told, rightly so, because without that, it is very important for you all to function. So how do we make a product? How do we design the CNC lathe? What casting do we use? What standards of testing? What is the test chart? How do we do heat treatment? How do we manufacture gears? What is the infrastructure that we have? So lot of the training and the development is on the product, the specifications, the features. While that is very, very important, please understand that your customer is buying your product not because it looks good or it has got good specifications, because he wants to use the product and make his part or his component or his heat treatment or his fit it on his machine if it's a rotary table, or use it as a cutting tool if it's a cutting tool. So he is trying to understand use of the product, and the use of the product is very different in different industries. Let me give you an example. Those of us who are selling CNC lathes, I'm just using CNC lathe because it's a simple example and we will know how to relate. If I am selling a CNC lathe to, let us say, a vendor or a auto component manufacturer who's supplying parts to TVS, or let us say Bajaj, then I know when he says I want mujhe accuracy chahiye, then I know he is talking of whatever 20 microns, 25 microns, 30 microns, maybe at best 50 microns. But if you are going to talk to a customer, let us say, who is supplying components to, let's say, Boeing, then mujhe accuracy chahiye, then what is he talking of? Maybe he's talking of under 10 microns. Now, which machine to give, which machine not to give, where you can get consistency, how you can get consistency is very different if it's an automotive business, if it's an aerospace business, if it's a tool and die business, if it's a packaging machine difference, if it is a general engineering business. So the industry, the kind of products that they use, the processes, the people, the commercials. So now this kind of knowledge and learning, how do you get and who gives you? Now, many of the customers, it is except for training programs like what we are doing right now, these are all issues that need to be self-taught. And of course, you all know, over a period of time when you all are started making calls, you understand, oh, I'm going to this estate. This estate, there are more people who are auto components. Now, this is tool and die. They require, you will learn. But when do you learn? How do you learn? And have you put it into some kind of a structure? So, knowing business is very, very important. Second, I've already spoken, which is about planning and organizing themselves. When I say planning and organizing, only one aspect is about time, but collaterals, attitudes are very, very different. Going back to the same example that I gave for a CNC lathe, the example that you need to talk of in an auto industry will be very different from an example that you need to talk of in a tool and die industry. Let's take, you're trying to sell a vertical machining center. If you're going to a component manufacturer, his interest will be in reducing tool cost, cycle time, maybe automation like jigs, fixtures, pallet changer, or rotary table or something like that. Whereas if you go to a die and mold vertical machining fellow, then he may be talking completely different. Cycle time may not be an issue for him. Then he may be talking of, look ahead. He may be talking of size. He may be talking of weight of the mold. So the entire dynamics change, and the collaterals that you need to show him, whether it is your examples, whether it is the customer's machine demonstration, or whether it is feature that you're talking. If you go to a auto component, 30 meters rapid may be low, whereas if you go to a tool and die, 20-meter rapid itself may be high. So the time, the collateral, and automatically his attitude. A customer who is in the auto business, his attitude will be more on time, delivery, speed, cost, fast. Whereas the attitude of an aerospace person may be damage, maybe traceability, maybe ISO, maybe certification. Now, these are the important aspects under which, when you are profiling your customers and we're preparing yourself so that you want to sell to him as he would like to buy, becomes very, very, very important. And most important for salespeople is the willingness to help and add value. Please understand, many of you, I'm sure, have loyal customers. Why is it that they are loyal to you? One, because they believe that because you are on the field, you have something to offer them. They know that you are visiting so many other customers. They know that you all are seeing these kind of components being made at other customers. So they believe and they trust and they want you to help them, whether it is on best pricing, whether it's on good delivery, or whether it is even on technical inputs of advising them, saying, sir, udhar ye problem hua, so buy with chip conveyor, don't buy with chip conveyor, add this feature, because they expect you to add value both from technical and from commercial and from a business aspect. They also believe that because you are a machine tool manufacturer, you could have other contacts and you will know where they could get some help either in the form of components or business or whatever. Now all this cannot be done in your standard time. So for this and helping them on these issues is where you build that relationship which is beyond product selling and sales kind of relationship. And to do that, you need to understand two very, very, very important things. You need to understand what I mean by their behavior. Whose behavior am I talking about? It is not the customer, but it is you. Understand your behavior and that of your customer. Please understand this very, very carefully. You need to be aware of your own behavior. We believe just as how we look at the customer and understand आज customer जल्दी में है, आज वो सुनने की मूड में नहीं है. This is a two-way street. If you are on the way stopping by a customer and going to some other customer which you had not planned for, customer को भी पता है ये आज आया हुआ है, he wants to leave you quickly. So he knows you are in a hurry because you are also giving the similar kind of, whether it's body language or tonal language or speed. सब जल्दी कीजिए, सब करना है. I mean, see, this is part and parcel of our daily interaction and activity. So you must understand your behavior and you must also understand the behavior of your customer. And the only way to understand behaviors, again going back to what I was trying to talk of emotional and psychological needs, is to study attitude, tone, expression, place, so that you are able to put forth what you want to put forth in a method and in a process by which it becomes easier or better for the customer to understand, decide, and continue this into a meaningful or in a manner in which it leads to some position which takes it forward.